In this video, we're going to talk about how to add and subtract polynomials, and I highly recommend that you pause and try the examples when prompted, and there are free guided notes available at divideandconquermath.com. So this is actually pretty straightforward, I think, in that to add or subtract polynomials, all you have to do is combine like terms. So I'll show you what this looks like. So I've got two polynomials here. I know that it's two polynomials because that's the point of having the parentheses. And so I just want to add them together. So you have some options of how you can do this. I'll just show you like one way that people like to do this. So sometimes people like to take all of the terms. So I take the bigger polynomial, which was this second one, this 5x squared minus 3x plus 1. And then they basically line up the other, like the terms in the smaller polynomials. So in this case, I've got 2x and 4. So notice I put the 2x with the other x, and then I put the 4 with the other number. So some people like to line up things like this when they're combining like terms. So then I can see I've got 5x squared by itself. Now I can add the negative 3x and the 2x, so that'll give me negative x, and then the 1 and the 4 will give me 5. So that's one way that you can do this, but if you prefer just to go straight across, that's fine too. So notice that in this particular example, the plus sign and the fact that there are parentheses, it's not doing anything for this. So it almost looks like a little silly to have all the parentheses, but the whole point of this is just to show you that there are two different polynomials here. And then however you want to combine them is up to you. You can combine them like this, or you can just say, okay, I'm going to start with 5x squared, and then 2x minus 3x, and then 4 and 1. You can just kind of add them up like this. The one thing I do want to say is you do want to have this in descending order, meaning you go from the highest exponent to the lowest. Now, in the next examples, you'll notice that now I'm subtracting. This does make things a little more tricky. So I've got 5x squared minus 3x plus 1 minus this entire polynomial, x cubed minus 2x squared minus x plus 1. So if you like the idea of stacking variables on top of one another, that still works. But the one thing I want to caution you on is to take your time and actually distribute this negative all the way in. Kind of the big flaw that I see with this is that people tend to forget to distribute, and then they just try to do all the math in their head, and then they end up making a simple error. So I am going to, in this example, I'm just going to go ahead and distribute that minus sign. And so just notice how that kind of flips all my values. And so now I'm just going to add straight across and just look for my like terms. And so I want to go in descending order. So this is going to be where I start. So this negative x cubed, I'll just cross that out when I'm done. Then I've got 5x squared and 2x squared, so that's 7x squared. Then I've got minus 3x plus x, so that's negative 2x. And then notice that my 1's drop out entirely. So that would be the answer in this case. Okay, so moving on to C here, so kind of that same idea from before, and you'll notice that in this case, so I've got 3x cubed plus 2x squared minus 5x plus 5x cubed plus 5x squared plus 2x. So in this case, that plus sign really isn't doing much. So if you just want to start adding up the terms, that's fine. So I've got 3x cubed and 4x cubed, so 3 and 4 is 7, so this is 7x cubed, so I can cancel those out. And then 2x squared and 5x squared is going to give me 7x squared. And then minus 5x plus 2x will give me minus 3x. And so that takes care of those. So that's always fine if you just want to kind of add them like this. But once again, just to caution you one more time. So if I look here at D, so once again, I have this subtraction. So you just want to be on alert for that. So here I've got 2x squared plus 5x minus 4 minus all of x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. Okay, so now if I distribute that minus sign, so this becomes minus x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. And now I can go through and start collecting my like terms. So as I look across here, this negative x cubed is the term of highest degree, so I can cancel that out. I've got 2x squared and 2x squared, so it's going to be 4x squared. 5x minus 3x is 2x. And then minus 4 plus 5 will give me plus 1. And so that's really it for adding and subtracting polynomials. Like I said, unless you want to like stack them on top of one another, you can really just kind of, look across and add up like terms, however you feel most comfortable doing it. But otherwise, that covers this video, guys. So it's a nice and short one. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.